Kingdom of Madagascar. Upon its emergence in the early 17th century, the highland kingdom of Merina was initially a minor power relative to the larger coastal kingdoms and grew even weaker in the early 18th century when King Andriamasanavalona divided it among his 4 sons. Following almost a century of warring and famine, Merina was reunited in 1793 by King Andrianampoinamarina, 1787 to 1810. From his initial capital Ambohimanga, and later from the Rova of Antananarivo, this Merina king rapidly expanded his rule over neighboring principalities. His ambition to bring the entire island under his control was largely achieved by his son and successor, King Radama I, 1810-28, who was recognized by the British government as King of Madagascar. Radama concluded a treaty in 1817 with the British governor of Mauritius to abolish the lucrative slave trade in return for British military and financial assistance. Artisan missionary envoys from the London Missionary Society began arriving in 1818 and included such key figures as James Cameron, David Jones, and David Griffiths, who established schools, transcribed the Malagasy language using the Roman alphabet, translated the Bible, and introduced a variety of new technologies to the island. Radama's successor, Queen Ranavalona I, 1828-61, responded to increasing political and cultural encroachment on the part of Britain and France by issuing a royal edict prohibiting the practice of Christianity in Madagascar and pressuring most foreigners to leave the territory. William Ellis of the London Missionary Society described his visits made during her reign in his book 3 Visits to Madagascar during the years 1853, 1854, and 1856. The Queen made heavy use of the traditional practice of fanampoana, forced labor as tax payment, to complete public works projects and develop a standing army of between 20,000 and 30,000 Merina soldiers, whom she deployed to pacify outlying regions of the island and further expand the Kingdom of Merina to encompass most of Madagascar. Residents of Madagascar could accuse one another of various crimes, including theft, Christianity, and especially witchcraft, for which the ordeal of tangina was routinely obligatory. Between 1828 and 1861, the tangina ordeal caused about 3,000 deaths annually. In 1838, it was estimated that as many as 100,000 people in Merina died as a result of the tangina ordeal, constituting roughly 20% of the population. The combination of regular warfare, disease, difficult forced labor, and harsh measures of justice resulted in a high mortality rate among soldiers and civilians alike during her 33-year reign. The population of Madagascar is estimated to have declined from around 5 million to 2.5 million between 1833 and 1839. Those who continued to reside in Merina were Jean Laborde, an entrepreneur who developed munitions and other industries on behalf of the monarchy, and Joseph-François Lambert, a French adventurer and slave trader, with whom then Prince Radama II signed a controversial trade agreement termed the Lambert Charter. Succeeding his mother, Radama II attempted to relax the Queen's stringent policies, but was overthrown 2 years later by Prime Minister Ranavalona and an alliance of Andriana, noble, and Hova, commoner, courtiers, who sought to end the absolute power of the monarch. Following the coup, the courtiers offered Radama's queen, Raizoharina, the opportunity to rule if she would accept a power-sharing arrangement with the Prime Minister, a new social contract that would be sealed by a political marriage between them. Queen Raizoharina accepted, first marrying Ranavalona, then later deposing him and marrying his brother, Prime Minister Ranalairivani, who would go on to marry Queen Ranavalona II and Queen Ranavalona III in succession. Over the course of Ranalairivani's 31-year tenure as Prime Minister, numerous policies were adopted to modernize and consolidate the power of the central government. Schools were constructed throughout the island and attendance was made mandatory. Army organization was improved and British consultants were employed to train and professionalize soldiers. Polygamy was outlawed and Christianity declared the official religion of the court in 1869, was adopted alongside traditional beliefs among a growing portion of the populace. Legal codes were reformed on the basis of British common law, and 3 European-style courts were established in the capital city. In his joint role as commander-in-chief, Ranelagh also successfully ensured the defense of Madagascar against several French colonial incursions. Thanks for watching. Please comment and subscribe if you enjoyed.